All right. Hello and welcome to this episode of Boomer and Degen. I'm your host, Biz, coming at you live with Andy of Crypto Hub HQ. Andy, how's it going? I mean, my weekend's been just a crazy show, just a busy packing because I got a 14 or 12-hour drive early in the morning, which I also want to give everybody a heads up that I'm gonna have to take a day off tomorrow off the stream, so we won't be live tomorrow, only because I will be traveling. And so once I get my internet and back up, we'll be good to rock the following day. But without further ado, Andy, let's hear how are things going over the weekend?
Yeah, good. I took yesterday off because I've been trading incessantly, right? So I am trying all kinds of things, and it's going good. But I just thought yesterday I'd take the day off, but today I've been trading. Um, and it's really good because when you use the very alerts that I've written, you know whether they're working, and they are. They're working really good. But let's get to the overall markets because this might be a little bit of a doom and gloom
I
thread.
mean, it's been the story of the week, right?
Stream, not thread. Yeah. So market health, not a lot to talk about. But let's go to Bitcoin now. That this green candle here was Saturday, so Friday and Saturday were green days. And then yesterday was a down day. On Sunday, today we've got a green candle, but we tend to have that at this time of day, and it's later in the day that Bitcoin goes down. So I am still of the opinion that we are heading down, right? And I've got some things to talk about once we get through our normal culprits. Let's go to the normal culprits first. Um, this has gone up a right little bit, saying we're slightly not in Bitcoin season. But you can see on the market health, the alts are flat. The alts have been taking a complete kicking, all right? And because people are getting out of those assets, then if it gets even worse, they'll get out of Bitcoin, right? But the fear and greed has actually gone down a little bit from yesterday to today. So that's at 22. We're still in fear, and the stock market's still in extreme fear, and obviously with good reason, right? Did he say he was going to slap 100% tariff on Europe, on their cars and on their stuff like?
Oh,
Anyway,
so
he's been.
is it only 100 now? Because I heard it was 200 before.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 200.
On EU, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Worry not, we'll sell our cars somewhere else. Um, buy your American cars. But anyway, so the madness continues. And what's interesting is that, as you know, I watch a lot of news streams trying to keep up with what the general sentiment is out
Yeah.
there. And there's a growing noise coming out of the bulk of the streamers that are they might have been listening to me, but they're kind of starting to get in line with what I'm saying. And what I've done is I've done two transcripts from two YouTube videos. The
Yep.
first one was a guy that I don't know, but he was basically saying that we're not just, and this is not just crypto, it's like the entire markets, right? We're not just heading for a recession, we're heading for a depression.
Okay.
Like, right. And so what he's saying is the looming economic crisis and how to prepare, right? This was a
Hmm.
video about it's incoming. How do you prepare for this? Right.
Sorry.
So,
Is this a crypto guy or was this a traditional
no,
finance
no,
guy?
general economics and whatever
Well,
guy,
okay.
right?
All right. Gotcha.
It wasn't Bitcoin specific or
Hmm.
crypto specific. The second one is, but
Hmm.
this one. Um, so the cycle of economic crashes, every major depression follows the same pattern, and history repeats itself. Right now, all the warning signs are flashing red. Stock market skyrocketing, creating false optimism.
Yep.
Exploding debt levels across governments, businesses, and individuals. They say that it's a very high percentage of people live paycheck to paycheck,
Hmm.
right? And they've got big credit card bills, so they spend the bulk of their income is paying back the debts they've incurred on credit card bills. So a widening wealth gap where the rich get richer while the middle class stagnates. Well, that is, you can see that happening. All you had to do is look at Trump's inauguration to see all of his best billionaire friends, right? They're the
Hmm.
ones that are kind of taking control.
Hey, those guys are
Uh,
all the PayPal guys.
yeah, well, yeah, except Mark Zuckerberg. But recession versus depression, what's the difference? A recession is a short term economic decline, a few months, years. GDP drops slightly and markets recover quickly. A depression, a prolonged, severe downturn lasting years or decades. GDP falls 10% plus, unemployment can crash 25%, markets can take decades to recover. The 2008 was severe, but it wasn't a depression. The
Hmm.
1930s was. You've all seen those movies of people jumping out of high-rise buildings on that day, right? And
Hmm.
so the five clear warning signs, and so this is the things that he's saying you should look out for. The illusion of prosperity, booming markets built on money printing and speculation.
Yeah,
It's exactly where all governments are.
yeah,
Exploding debt, government, corporate, and individual debt loads are unsustainable, just like before. Um, Widening wealth gap. Have I just been through this? No. Widening wealth
no,
gap. Uh, the rich multiply their wealth while the middle class is drowned in debt and stagnant
yeah,
wages. A trigger event. There's usually a trigger event, like there was with Lehman Bank in 2008, right? For
yeah.
the recession. A bank failure, stock crash, a global debt crisis can something is going to bring this on, right? And what's interesting is, I'm not sure he mentions this, but Trump is effectively accelerating this to happen, right?
Well, I mean, what's okay? So you're saying that he would do this so that he could buy in at a lower price?
Now, I don't know whether he is wanting to cause a depression. What I'm
Mm.
saying is it's inevitable, and his actions are speeding it up,
Okay.
right? Uh, Government reaction is too late. Central banks scramble to inject liquidity, but by the time they act, it's already too late.
Hmm.
The, the playbook to select, so the upside is, how do you survive this? The biggest wealth transfers happen during downturns. Smart investors buy assets cheap while everyone else panics. How to prepare? Hold real assets, real estate, gold, cash flow businesses. Reduce risky debt, avoid liabilities that could sink you in a crash. Build multiple income streams. I've talked about, nothing to do with crypto, but I've talked about this with people on many times, right? Have more than one income stream. Then, for if one tanks, you've still got, you're not reliant on just one income.
Yep.
Understand market cycles, but when everyone else is buy when everyone else is selling. That's back to the kind of Warren Buffett
Hmm.
type approach. Um, Develop high demand skills. Now that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Uh,
Takes time,
yeah,
right?
and those kind of things do.
Yeah.
Before AI came along, being a software engineer was effectively job security, right?
Hmm.
You could always get work. Um, I think the software engineers are still at that point, but AI is helping so much that whereas they needed this many, now they only need this many,
Yeah.
right? So only the creme de la creme will get the work, right? So it's going to be harder for
Well,
new software engineers
you
to
also
get on the
can't
ladder.
replace experience.
Well, that's the other thing. Old farts like me, everything's happened to them before.
Hmm.
You know, I've worked in software teams for enterprise, like £5 billion companies, where the shit hits the fan and all the websites are down and they're losing hundreds of thousands of pounds every hour. You know, and it's your job to fix it, even though you didn't cause it.
Hmm.
It's your job to fix it as quickly as possible, right? So we've been through all this shit, right? And we know the cycles that they were talking about before. I've been through many like recessions in my life, right? So the bottom line, this is not fear mongering. This is historical fact. A major economic event is coming. It's a question of when, not if. And I think we've smelt this, and people are beginning to smell this a lot more, right? Those who prepare now and will not only survive but thrive. Are you going to be part of the smart money or get wiped out? The choice is yours. Now, that was the first video, right? The second video was from Coin Bureau. And this video was entitled Global Recession Outlook.
Okay.
Right? So, again, another trusted source, this time very crypto leaning. A global economy weakening back to square one. The 2020 pandemic stimulus temporarily propped up economies,
Yep.
but major economies are now showing signs of stagnation.
Yeah.
A global recession is looming. Now, they're not saying depression, they're saying recession. The other guy was saying depression, but I think we do need a depression, right? We need that cycle to fulfill itself.
Well, 2008 wouldn't be considered a depression, would you
No,
say?
it's a recession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A depression is like we're talking. I don't. The last time was that the Black Monday. Was that
Yeah.
back in
1930.
1930? Yeah.
Yeah. So think about it. We're almost 100 years.
Okay.
Right. So, but they always happen over time, right? And what they do is everybody, as they come out of it, everybody's lean and hungry again, and then they start to get greedy again, and then they leverage again, and then they debt again, so that's why the whole thing and people forget 100 years is a long time. Those people that went through that are not alive now.
Mm-hmm.
A new up and coming business hotshots and bankers are all, back it, let's
So,
go, yeah.
do you think that the cutting of the funding to U.S. aid had any part of this?
No, this is just no. This is a much bigger global.
Macro, yeah.
Unfortunately, these tariff wars that Trump is starting, right? They're going to affect GDP in every country.
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
So there might be if we're at a tipping point, right? They've been bringing us back from this tipping point, right? This kind of stuff could just weigh it and off it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But anyway, a global recession is looming with the US, China, Japan, and Germany and India all slowing down. The threat of trade wars, tariffs, and geopolitical tension is accelerating the decline. Understanding global recessions. A national recession, 2 quarters, that's what a national one is, right? 2 quarters of GDP decline. A global recession, 1 full year of GDP decline. Recessions don't happen naturally. They're murdered by a major event, financial crisis, war, pandemic, etc. The last 5 global recessions, 1975, 1982, 1991, 2009, 2020, I was alive for all of them, right? So, I was young on the first one, but I was alive for all of them. The 5 biggest economies are struggling. The United States, consumer confidence is crashing due to the tariffs and declining government spending. Spending is still high, but showing signs of slowing. Banks like Goldman Sachs are lowering US GDP forecasts.
Okay.
And in fact, didn't Goldman Sachs just come out and say about Tesla, it's the worst company decline that's ever happened?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he said that, but I mean, the charts don't lie.
No.
It's pretty bad. It's quite steep.
Well, that's going to affect how he borrows money, right?
Oh, that's true.
If tariffs escalate into a global trade war, it could trigger this recession, right? China, real estate market is collapsing, dragging down investment. Exports are slowing. The global demand for Chinese goods is dropping. The government is printing more money to stimulate the economy, which could lead to a currency. A devaluation of the Chinese yen could cause civil unrest, right? Japan and Germany, both are already close to or in recession. Japan's economy is stagnant with low spending and declining investment. Germany's exports are crashing, mainly due to energy policy failures, cutting off Russian energy, which they did because of the Ukraine war. And geopolitical risks, Taiwan conflict, Ukraine war, could make things worse, right? India, which is a massive, people forget about India. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a big, massive country, right? Still growing fast, 6.4 GDP growth, but slowing. Wages are dropping, leading to a decline in consumer spending. Social unrest could be the major risk factor. What this means for the markets, if a major economy collapses, it's saying if one collapses, it will drag global markets down.
Mm-hmm.
The same murder weapons threaten all economies: trade wars, geopolitical conflicts, internal political instability. Markets and economies are now deeply interconnected. And that's the problem, right? You've got this globalism, everybody was connected.
Yeah.
And the problem when everybody's connected is it's a house of cards. Everything's on top of each other. And then if one of the major ones at the bottom, like Germany or the States or something like that, they fold, bang, the whole thing comes crashing down, right?
Okay.
The big picture, a never-ending cycle. Every economic downturn has been fixed with more government spending and stimulus, pushing the problem down the road effectively.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they've always done. Keep printing money, keep
Yeah,
printing money.
but I get how you're basically tying it back to Trump and what he's doing right now.
Oh, yeah, that's what he wants to lower interest rates so he can print more money and lower the interest rate on the debt. But he still wants more debt because he wants to give a massive tax break to his friends. So it's all just a big game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There comes the point where they think they're juggling all these balls, and then they realize there's an extra ball being added and they just can't do it and it all falls down, right? So the big question isn't if a recession happens. This is again a second stream, but when and how bad it will be.
Mm-hmm.
If the government bails out the economy again, inflation will spike, the rates will rise, setting up yet another collapse. So the bottom line is, try whatever you're doing in your life, try make sure that you're as debt free as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Try make sure that if you can have multiple income streams, do that. But be advised when you're making your forward plans. This is to anybody watching. Be careful that you're not overloading yourself, because if the time comes when suddenly your job goes or something like that, my hair needs cutting. If your job goes or something like that, everything in your own life comes tumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful. That's why, I kind of set out in, that's why I take this very conservative approach to trading, growing slowly, right? And not throwing everything at it. The money I've got investing in crypto, I don't need it to live, right? So if it all the coins went to zero tomorrow, it wouldn't affect my life. I'd be pissed off, but it wouldn't affect my life. So I think that's the key takeaway. So although this is a bit of a downer, this brings us on to all of this, right? If we are in a bull market, it's a very extended one, and we're going to get relief days. Like we've from this bottom here, we've gone up 11-12% before we've gone back down a bit, but we're probably still going to go lower. And if anything triggers the stock markets to crash anymore, then this is going to tank as well.
100%.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So in terms of what we do here, we're all about trading, and trading is short term, right? You get in, you take your profit, you get out. You get in, you take your profit, you get out.
Wow, auction is on a tear.
Oddly enough, I been trading that, and I'm waiting for it to short because it has over the weekend. Yeah, you're changing the subject here.
Sorry about that.
Over the weekend, that was doing that. Yeah, but you can see I've already got things set up here. That entry shouldn't be there now. It's because that's not my entry. But yes, it has been on a tear. And if you go to kind of a 4-hour chart, or maybe even the day chart, I think actually on this one, you can see that it's at this major level now, where it's either going to have a complete retrace, like it probably should, or it's going to tear up even more. But even over the last 10 days, it's up 200 odd percent. But this has been coming into our alerts all the way from back here, by the way. It's our alerts have been pointing this out to you. So that's why it's been on my watch list here for a long time, all right? And trading it up and then trading pullbacks and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, where was I? Because you changed the subject.
Yeah.
I can see that you're multitasking, right? We're on this stream and you're doing a DJ thing.
No,
Okay,
no,
I'm
no,
this
no, no. I just saw
stream
it.
coming out
So
now.
you know how we have the tickers scrolling down the bottom,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah. So I actually saw it was 25%. It's lit up bright green, 25%. I was like,
yeah. They it's been on a tear. There's been a few actually. Um, so yeah. So I think that to finish off on the overall markets, just be careful out there, right? Now, so when it comes to trading, there have been, as you know, I've been trading a lot, right? So today I've been trading layer. Um, Layer's been very good. That's the 5 minute table. Let me take us to the 15. Um, what I can say is that the liquidity approach to trading really does work. Right, it really does work. I think I've done 4 trades in layer this morning, 3 winning, 1 stopped out in a slight loss. Right, so but they really do work. And layer, if you go to let me go to layer here. Coins that have retraced. So it's saying, it's getting ready to go up. That was only at 12 o'clock, so 20 minutes ago. They're not wrong. I've got a long setup, waiting to go. Because I was going to short it down, but I wanted to go out and buy a coffee. Going their own way. It's been going their own way again. Solv, again, going its own way, look. Still. Now, Solv, though, is being auction about.
yeah.
Solv has been a bit.
Mm.
The profits in it, it was swinging 4-5%, right? And now it's swinging 1%, 2%. And then every now and again it follows Bitcoin again. But it's nice to see that, it was this morning, it came in at 8 o'clock. So it's 4 hours ago, but that it's not following Bitcoin. Another one that I've been trading was Cake, actually. Oh, yeah, look. That must have been over. Yes, right. So when I was sleeping, I got that set up for this morning, ready to rock. and I got a bit late. I didn't think I sat down at about 7:30, and then I was on with auction. But that would have been the call, right? That would have been 17%. But yes, I put that on before I went to sleep last night. But yeah, so Cake's been doing very good, and Cake is another one that's been coming in to not following Bitcoin. And that's, they're really and outperforming Bitcoin, which is obviously another one. Going their own way. Cake, that came in today at 9 o'clock this morning. So you see, I normally wake up around 6 a.m., but actually I slept in. That I would have traded that right this morning, and I was trading it over the weekend. And primarily because when I went to sleep last night, maybe around, what am I on, a 15-minute, about here, when I looked at the charts last, I thought, oh, it's coming into this area here, right? And if I turn on order blocks, I could see that that's the new order block. It's probably mitigated an order block back here, but I could see this order block down here.
Oh,
and I thought it's either going to come all the way and retrace back down to there, right? Or if it's in this continuation of an uptrend, it'll go before that. So I set my entry literally last night around here. And what I tend to do is when I wake up, if it's still, I might just lower it down. Like if it's a bit lower, I'll go, okay, I'll lower it down there. And I tend to put in a really sizable stop loss. And that means that what I can do is, let me just move that down there.
Like a liquidity sweep situation right there.
Yeah, well, the order blocks, let me just put them on. Let me just replay that back to say there, see what we had. We didn't have an order block there. No, 5-minute. No. So there's no order block. It went from a fair value gap by the look of it. But anyway, what I tend to do is if you're at this point, and you let it play, I kind of have a large entry and say to myself, well, if it comes down further than this, right? I'm doing that a bit slow, aren't I? If it comes down like there, right, for instance, as a matter of interest, right? I can have a like a 1.96% stop loss because I'm going to get in halfway down. So my stop loss is actually much smaller. Are you
Mm-hmm.
with me? And then if it keeps going, I'll think to myself, right, it seems to be going lower. I will lower my stop loss even more. And I just make the one change in the exchange and I go, okay, let's keep playing. Let's see what happens. And as it happens, it went, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, you'll know because you'll be on the 3 minute chart, wait, or 1 minute on this on the exchange, the 1 minute, you can see that turn up over a period of about 5 or 6 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's if I go down to here and go back to say 1 minute chart,
Oh,
um,
here we go.
so you'll see that it took. You see how long it took?
Yeah.
You had lots of time on your exchange to see that that was the natural bottom there. So that means you would have got in with a stop loss
You see,
of, in the end,
the one
would have
minute
been like,
chart ain't that bad, ain't it?
well, it's only from a referencing, like like I
Yeah.
want confirmation that we're not getting lower lows, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that means you would have had, instead of a 2.8 stop loss to start with, you'd have had a 1.62, and then very quickly you'd have been raising your stop. Very quickly raising your stop. But I was trading that over the weekend, and it worked, and it was a nice coin to trade because these little swings here, it was doing all of this.
Mhm.
It was good, and then you had this one, obviously. So and it's been doing this. It's been, if you go to say the 4 hour, you can see that it kind of tends to have these huge moves down, and you know what I mean. Like it likes to have these kind of dips and then moves back up. Um, so yeah, so the nice thing about trading these alerts. And I've not shown you this in a while. Well, that's the database. I'm doing some database maintenance. This is the spreadsheet, right? I took
Mhm.
yesterday off, so this is trading today. So at the close of the last trading day, which was Saturday for me, I was 30.67% up on where I started, right, after sort of 10 days.
Yeah.
And this included, by the way, I've been trying so many different approaches, right,
Mhm.
about using the liquidity stuff to see which one works for me. I had a -9% on one day, -5% on the other day, right? So had I not have had them, I'd have been up about 50% now. All right. Um, so it's now that I'm honing it, like I've had 4 trades this morning, 3 wins, 1 slight loss. Once I get to a point where I'm very, very happy, I'm still on 5x. I will go to 10x. But I'll still set my target. I'll let this work itself out, right? Because over the last kind of over the last what's it doing? My MacBook is playing silly buggers at the moment. Um, over the last few days, I've been doing 5.26, and that's only because I had a slight $9 loss on one day.
Mhm.
So my average is 5.26. So 5 is still the right level to go for. Are you with
Mhm.
me? But as you grow, you can see by the end of 30 days, only 3,000, but by the end of 60, if that maintains, it's 13,000. It grows, right?
Mhm.
And then you probably rebalance after that 13,000. So you're not having such huge trades, right? Take some
Mhm.
money off the table. But the trading technique is working, and I'm deliberately, I'm so, I used to do like 20x and 30x and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it pains me sometimes that I'm only using 5, but I am deliberately doing this as a test bed, to be able to show as a case study, to be able to show that this, if you're careful, you can make it work, right?
Mhm.
So 30% up, if all goes well, about 37% up.
Literally putting the marathon, not a sprint, into full practice.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because I see a trade and I go, oh, this is a 20x.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, right? It's got the itch. You know that meme? The one that
But I am literally like sometimes going, oh, even if it gets to where I think it's maximum, I'm only going to get like, 4.5% or to 30%, instead of, I could have had a 200%. But anyway, I am determined to see this through, right? This is me kind of proving, and it's all about using these alerts, right? It
Yeah.
literally is using This going your own way is really, really good because you're not affected by this gravity well called Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Bullish fair value gap, bearish fair value gap, also very good. If you try find a coin and you've slightly missed it, you go shit. Does it have a bullish fair value gap, a break of structure? Yes, it does. Great. It's probably going to retrace to there. I can set my entry there, right? And so they're very, very good. So having used these like now for 10 trading days, this is the 11th. I can tell you, folks, they work. They're very, very, very useful. And because they come in every 15 minutes, some every hour, they're very, very good. I've got to do some database maintenance because it's got so big that the alerts have, rather than coming in every 15 minutes, a few seconds after 15 minutes, they're taking all of a sudden, an hour ago, they took a couple of minutes to build. So it just means I have to cull the database a little bit. Just software engineer maintenance shit, you know. I'll do it after this call, and then it'll take about another 5 hours for it to start caching it all again, and then that'll be it. So there's tons to trade if you know what to trade, and that's why these alerts are freaking great, right? I think Move was one that is probably finished its. Oh no, there you go. Look,
Yeah.
there you set up that short, right? And when was that? That was on Sunday, but I didn't trade. I didn't trade, but I set up this short, and I think I set it up on maybe Saturday, saying if it gets to this level, this is going to short, right?
Well,
As
that
it
would have been a
trans,
nice check.
and as a that would have been, you wouldn't have got out exactly at the bottom, but you'd have
No,
certainly got
but
out.
even a little bit higher than that would have been nice.
Yeah. But anyway, you can see these alerts work because Move was coming in to the alerts, and then you get that one that's called shorting, right? And it says, it runs once an hour, and it'll say this is looking like in a region to start shorting it. So I got it set up, and then took yesterday off. I didn't expect to take yesterday off, but I woke up going, nah, can't be bothered trading today. So I just took it off. So yeah, but that's can be deleted now. That's gone. But that would have been another winner from the alerts, right? Another winner from the alerts. So that's it. Market still. If you're just about holding assets, I mean, oddly enough, if you look at the top 10, ETH is still below 2K, right? ETH is not doing good.
That is wild. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, Sol is still down at 128. Look at this.
That is.
I mean, oddly enough, if I put these on,
yeah. Ouch.
There, you've got, it's almost tweaked that one. If you go to say the 4 hour, problem when you put order blocks on is that they mess up your charts quite a bit. But no, if you look at a day, but again, if we go back to ETH, let me see if there's anything there. No, it's gone straight through all the order blocks. Look, straight through them. You know, ADA. That's on. You see now that's interesting. Look what happened. You've got a fair value gap with a break of structure here, and then it's gone up. It's retraced back down. It's gone into that fair value gap once. It did a massive. I don't know what that was.
Flash crash.
Yeah, and then came in back to this fair value gap one more time.
And
shot up, creating an order block here, a bullish order block, all right? And look what it did. You know it's going to come back at some point. Now, this is over days, right? This is your day chart. Yep. But again, if you're a long-term trader, you work on a job, then why not? You know, you can trade on, they work, and no matter what the time frame. It came in and absolutely peaked that look, right? And then after that, went up 16%, right? So these order blocks, fair value gaps, points of control, our alerts to tell you which ones to look at, they bloody well work, I'm telling you. They really do work from a day trading point of view. That's it. From a
Yeah,
from a
for
trade
sure.
or swing trading or whatever it is. Something from a trading point of view. They
We
really work.
yeah. Well,
So
no,
that's
it's dope
the
to
market,
see.
really.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's super awesome to see. Well, thank you everybody for watching. If you guys haven't done so already, give us a follow at Crypto Hub HQ on Twitter. And if you are on Blue Sky, give us a follow on there as well, as we're trying to build it out. And hopefully they'll get the streaming on Blue Sky pretty soon so we can start going to that platform more consistently. But yeah,
Yes.
any follows would be a great thing for us. It will help us grow, and we're trying to get the content out there. And for traders like you and I, and for everybody else that's doing the work. Cool. All right, Andy. If there's anything else, did you want to close it off with anything?
No, just be careful out there, folks. Keep your
Yeah,
eye on the ball. Keep your eye on news events. Don't panic. Everything's going to be fine in the end, but make sure
absolutely.
that you've positioned yourself to manage anything that the downsides that are coming. So,
Sweet.
and other than that, start trading and as a second, if you've got a job, second income, weekend trading. Why not?
That's right.
You
You
know,
mentioned it earlier. Diversify. Have multiple streams going. You
yeah.
know, it's the way to do it.
But
It's the greatest hedge against uncertainty.
Yeah, but only put like if you're going to do that, only if you've got your outgoings and your costs and all up from family and everything, just put an amount of cash that you say, well, I might have blown this on another holiday, but we're not having a holiday, so I'm going to put half of that into this and I'm going to trade that up, right?
That's right.
And if you lose it, you lose it. You do not care. That's the thing, right? Because one of the things about trading is if you're worried about taking a losing trade, and I've had so many small losing trades over the last few days, but more winning, right? Obviously, from the stats you can see,
Yeah.
if you go into a trade worried about losing that money, you shouldn't be trading,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's as much trading is as much about here as it is about the edge that you have with using liquidity kind of stuff. It's much more about
That's true.
do I get now and all that. But anyway, other than that, happy trading, everyone. We will not see you tomorrow, but we will see you on Wednesday.
Cool. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace out.